Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today I thought it was time to go over something we haven't done in a little while. It's been a whole couple of weeks since the last balance patch, but with Blizzard employees returning to their office just yesterday, and with a lot of people still not thrilled with certain things in the Hearthstone meta, or just general curious of what could change in both standard and wild from a balance perspective, I thought we could go over what possible nerfs could come up, what I would like to see, also just comment on the meta in general, if I'm hating it, loving it, whatever, because you guys have known I've not been a fan since United to Storm 1 launched last August, and well, how I've been feeling about the latest updates. So if you look at standard and wild, the win spread in standard is actually not too bad. You have 5 classes in the green, 5 classes in the negative. It's relatively balanced from that perspective, with Priest being the absolute dog and still doing pretty poorly, with Wild being a bit of a different exception. Although there are 4 green, it's really strong with Warrior and Hunter with the 2 questline decks, not much else going on. However, if we take a look, at least we'll start with standard, my standard takes on things. We take a look at the meta using HS Replay at top 1000 Legend, you'll notice there's a bit of a problem. Rogue is pretty represented at tier 1. Rogue has been the big winners of the latest balance patch, and you'll note that aggro is still pretty up there. Thief Rogue is basically the Burtle Rogue with the Knolls. You cheat out the 0 mana 4/5 Knolls, the 3 mana 6/6 guys, and that's you're just trying to aggro people out. Yeah, Weapon Rogue, same thing. Cute Rogue is just another take on that. It's Edwin with cheap cards. Face Hunter is an aggro deck. Beast Druid's an aggro deck, and then you kind of have some more mid-range stuff in here with Fel DH, Quest Shaman, Quest Channel. But you'll see there's a lot of, after you get past the tier 1, there's a good amount of diversity. You have some aggro, you have some mid-range, you have some combo. Control still kind of just missing from the game, and I don't know when that's coming back, and I don't think much is going to change that. It's just you go all the way down to the bottom. You might see a control deck like Quest Priest, or I guess Quest is Quest Warrior. No, it's not control. There's just like no control in the game right now. It just doesn't really exist. The closest thing to it is combo decks that have control-ish elements, or Libram Paladin, as some have tried to call control, or Quest Handlock, like the ones that are like, they don't feel like control, but people have kind of like, well, it's got removal spells, so it's control. But overall, everything's pretty well represented past tier 2 outside of control. That's the point I'm getting at. But Wild doesn't have these numbers, but Wild, it's just overwhelmingly Pirate Warrior, Odd Quest Hunter, and then you have the Sorcerer's Apprentice decks with Mage. And Druid's made a bit of a comeback with like Cthulhu Druid. I've been playing that a lot because it beats Hunter, it beats Warrior, but it kind of loses to everything else. That's what holds it back. But overall, yeah, it's just like everything is around Hunter and Warrior. So what would I like to see changed? And first, before I go into what I would like to see change, I will say I'm having fun on ladder. I'm having fun on ladder for the first time since, like, I guess Forged in the Barrens. I really love Guff in particular. Guff is such a fun, awesome, cool card. Might be my favorite card in the last, years. Like, I love Guff. I'm someone who's basically, I have more Druid wins with any other class. I love to ramp. I love to do combo stuff with ramp, not mana cheat. And yeah, Guff is just really cool. And I'm doing that double Cthulhu thing in Wild. Even that's really fun. So there is cool stuff to do. And I know people really like the Thief Rogue. I think it might be a little bit too good, but I like the deck. It's fun. I think this expansion has been a real good thing. And the latest balance patch has helped in standard to catch up to these quest decks to an extent, more than I thought, so kudos to the team on that. However, Wild is still a mess. So let's talk about what cards I would like to see get addressed in standard first, and then we'll talk about Wild, because I do think there's going to be changes in Wild. I think that it's gotten to a point where they have to do something about it, and in standard I wouldn't honestly change a lot. The metagame is really diverse. There's a lot of good stuff going on, but you saw Rogue, and I do think Rogue should be dialed back. And there are a few cards that I could see getting hit. First being Wild Paw Knoll. This just comes down too quickly at 0 mana. With Maestra and a Secret Passage, this can come down for 0 mana on turn 2. It's way too soon, and it's not that unlikely. It's just not that unlikely. I like to see Wild Paw Knoll go to 7, personally. I think it's that easy to cheat out that you could bump it by 2. Let's not take the Flesh Giant route. Let's not take all these other where we only bump it by 1. Do the whole Moog Flesh Shaper thing we used to do, or used to do in the day, where that went from 7 to 9. I think 5 to 7, it's still going to be playable. You'll still be able to cheat it out by like turns 3 and 4, but that's when it should come out. Not turn 2 or turn 3 for 0. On turn 3, it should be 3, right? Like a 3-mana 4/5 rush. That's a really good deal, right? So I'd like to see this go to 7. I could see that change happen. One other card I've seen argued, because Weapon Rogue is so problematic and Cloak of Shadows is one of the most degenerate problems of that, is make Cloak of Shadows 4 mana, slow that strategy down to being able to hide yourself, make it less flexible. I mean, Ice Block was degenerate. Was it Timeout was degenerate? None of them got nerfed, but I'd like to see Cloak of Shadows probably get hit for Weapon Rogue, make them more fragile to actually die and not be able to hide so easily. So that's another change. And the last one, and this card is very contentious amongst a lot of people. I see people complain about this on Twitter more than anything. I'm even taking part in it because it's fun to shitpost. But overall, yeah, Scabs, the Vanish effect is just insane. The mana cheat to go with it is incredible. And plus you're developing 8/4 in stealth stats that are hard for a lot of decks to react to. Rogue shouldn't have access to board clears like this, and that's why Blizzard themselves said they got rid of Vanish from, Standard back only a couple of years ago. That wasn't that long ago, 2019. So I guess just over like almost 3 years ago now that happened. And I don't see why this should be in the game like it is. I actually don't think you just bump Scabs to 8. I think they should just make it that you sap like 2 random minions or something. Like, it just should not be a catch-all board clear. It should just be like, I don't know. I'd like to see it being changed, but if something happens to Scabs, it'll probably just go to 8, and that would probably be good enough. But overall, it's just, I don't think Vanish should be in the game. This isn't just because I have 3 copies of it, okay? If they don't nerf, I don't think this will be nerfed, by the way, right away. I think that might come later. Other cards you could take a look at to get nerfed. Defias Cannoneer just seems ridiculous at 3. 3-mana 3/3 that deals 4 damage, and it's not even a battle cry. I don't understand how this is a 3-mana 3/3 pirate. Like, it's just incredibly dumb to me how good this is. You could make this 4, you could make this a 1/2 or something. Like, there's so many things you could do to this card and it would still be ridiculously good. It's a card that I know Quest Warriors is really good, basically across all ranks except High Legend. And obviously in WoW, it's problematic. So you kind of be hitting a couple things at once. And I just think this card is just too overtuned and I'd love to see it. And then the other card, Mizaki Mage, this is a High Legend problem. And I guess a WoW problem too is Incanter's Flow. We saw with like the Rune Mithril Rod. We saw with Efficient Octobot and all this stuff. The mass mana cheat stuff is a problem. Incanter's Flow is still one of those cards where if it's in your opener, you win the game. If it's not, you lose the game. Bumping it to 4 would just kill the card, and I feel that's fine. Ping Mage is playable now. Mage is a playable archetype. Just kill Incanter's Flow. Kill that Mizaki Mage thing. It is just really unfun, and I'd love to see this go to 4 mana. Other than that, for Standard, I'm basically content. I feel like you can let the meta develop from there. Just minor changes. Rogue would still be very strong. I don't think you're killing anything with those changes. However, in Wild does need desperate help. And for the Warrior quest, I don't think a Defias Cannoneer nerf would be enough. This quest needs to be banned from Wild. Raid the Docks is just way too easy to complete, and without fundamentally changing this quest, whether you make it more expensive, more pirates required, making the reward costs more, etc., it's not going to help Wild out. I feel like this is a card that straight up needs to get banned from Wild. The Hunter quest, on the other hand, I don't think needs to get banned from Wild. I think you can take a less drastic route with that into the Dwarven District. I don't think you have to change the card. I think all you need to do is basically nerf Rapid Fire. You make Rapid Fire 2 mana, deal 2, twin spell. You make it so it can't be run in Odd Hunter, and then boom. The deck is so much worse because the deck's already not really a complete deck. Everyone's running like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 cards that just suck in the deck because there's just not enough direct damage spells. And you take the best one out of the equation, it'll make it not such an oppressive deck. So I don't think you need to ban it. I think you just nerf a Wild only card. This won't affect Standard at all. and I think it would help out a lot. And then the other changes, of course, Sorcerer's Apprentice. She is still just an absolute terror in Wild. And my suggestion for her is pretty simple. Your spells can't cost less than 1, or make her 4 mana, make her double the cost, so you can still do an Exodia Mage, but it's not like a good deck. You have to really work for it, but you can still do that there if you really want to pull off that fun combo. Other than that, you make it spells. Either way, you're killing the card. If its spells can't cost less than 1, you're killing the card. If you make her 4, you're killing the card. I'd rather bumping her to 4, keeping the spirit of the card. And yeah, those are my suggested changes for Standard and Wild. Again, nothing too mind-blowing here, but I thought I'd throw that out there in case there's people listening. And, you know, we'll see. I anticipate a patch coming pretty soon, any day now, honestly, now that they're back in the office, and we'll see what balance ideas they have. But let me know in the comments below what you would like to see get nerfed, how you're feeling in the meta's going, because honestly, for me, it hasn't been terrible. And as you can tell by my decks, I'm kind of all about the Guff, and my God, he's just super fun. Guff is fun. I'm a disciple of Guff, and, you know, let me know what you're enjoying. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.